Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag.
What's going on, family? It's your man Tay Sweat here once again, and this is another STV Market Watch. Of course, this is the Beginners Mentorship Edition, right? This is episode 4, and of course, what we've been going over the last maybe 1 or 2 videos is candlesticks, right? And why is this important? This is probably one of the most important things you'll ever learn when it comes to trading stocks. And the reason why is because this is just sheer raw price action. All right. Now, before we get into today, I want to dive into a few things. Number one, who am I? And number two, why am I doing this? Because I'm sure we got some new people here. Welcome. I am Tay Sweat. I'm a penny stock trader. I got my start with penny stocks. Basically, if you don't know what penny stocks are, they are crappy stocks that are usually under $5. Some people may even say under $2, but these stocks are usually under $5. They're crappy companies. A lot of times they're going bankrupt. So there are really no fundamentals to choose on or to trade on. It's strictly candlesticks, patterns, and charts. That's it, right? And I pretty much got my start. When I say I got my start, I actually traded penny stocks successfully for about 5, 6 years before I even came over to what we would call the large cap or the main market, right? So before I traded Apple, Tesla, and all of the bigger companies that have good fundamentals, I had to trade crappy companies. And how do you do that successfully? Once again, you have to be good at trading the chart, what you see on the chart. So I'm saying all of this to say that if I can trade crappy companies that are going bankrupt and we can make money as they go up and down before they go bankrupt, then you should be able to make money using that same system with companies that are pretty good financially, right? So that is why I have an edge over most of your, stock traders who maybe haven't been in that world or just, sheer investors. You have a lot of, quote unquote gurus out there, stock gurus who they trade stocks, they want to get into stock market, education, but they don't know charts, right? And if a person can't trade a crappy company that's going out of business, if you can't trade that company and, basically watch the charts and be able to enter and exit price or enter or exit that position using your charts. If you can't do that, then you may not be that good with charting, right? A lot of this stuff is sheer, I would say beginner's luck. If you're trading like Apple, whatever else, Tesla, these companies are big companies. They're not going bankrupt. So it's easy to buy them and watch them go up because a lot of times, if you just give yourself enough time, they'll go up because they're quality companies, right? But you're talking about catching a falling knife. That's the world that I come from, right? So anyway, I want to give a shout out to my old trading team. Shout out to David and Prosperity Traders. That was my guy. That's who I used to trade with as a team. I think it's very important to trade as a team. That's why I also wanted to kind of build out a league of really good traders because it's important to see what other traders see. Y'all can trade together. And that's why I used to trade with a really solid team, but they only trade penny stocks, and honestly, it wasn't enough money in it for me. So I came over to the big boy league, right? So anyway, let's get started. Let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. Okay. Now, of course, the last class, if you watched it, we went over doji candles and 5% candles, right? And I got to show you on the chart how they're going to play out and how these things work. So today, we're going to the next level. All right. We're going to go to candles. Okay. Or what? Excuse me, candles, hammer candles, and then the inverted hammer candles. Right. Now, some of you have seen these and you've probably wondered, what are they? How do they work? What do they mean? Et cetera, et cetera. But like I've always told you, throughout this full mentorship, I've told you that every candle is a conversation. It's telling a story. Now, that being said, what does a hammer candle tell us, right? Well, a hammer candle tells us that price open or, the market, whatever you're trading, open at a point, sellers took it down, but the buyers were stronger and they brought it up. And anytime you see one of these where the body is up here and there's a big, big, big extension of a wick, usually there's a lot of bullish activity right there, right? And 9 times out of 10, your next candle is going to include or present more buyers, right? So a lot of times what you'll see is a hammer candle like this, and then your next candle will be green like this. I see it a lot. And the reason why is because when sellers see this, they go, ooh, too many buyers in there. Let me get out of the way. Let me get out of the way, right? Same thing on the opposite side, and I'm going to explain this here in a minute. Same thing on the opposite side. Inverted hammer candles is literally the quite opposite. So what we see here is market open, went as high as it could, and then the sellers took it down. Now, I'm just going to get into conversation, and I try to keep this thing simple because you can change the color of these. This could be a red, hammer candle, which has a whole different name. This could be a red, inverted hammer candle. But for today's sake, because my goal is not to build a Bible of candlestick patterns. And the reason why I say that is because honestly, I don't need them. And I don't think, and when I say I don't need them, there's only about 3 different candles that I actually need to see what the price action is about to do. Right. And I'm sure somebody here is like, oh, that's a cop out or da 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 da. Trust me, as someone who, and a lot of you will figure this out once you've been in the market long enough. As someone who's been in the market long enough, not only me, but traders, don't forget I live in Puerto Rico and I get to interact with other traders who are profitable. That's why they are here, because there are tax benefits for profitable traders. So yeah, there's a few people, here making millions of dollars from trading, and they pay $0 in taxes because that's what the incentives, are for Puerto Rico. But anyway, I'm not the only one who would tell you this, right? Being able to identify candles, it's cool, it's cute, it's somewhat important. But what tends to happen is you get people who will overdo it. They'll give you shooting star. They'll give you, literally, there's so many. The 3 white soldiers, and then they give you 3 black crows. And you have all of these different, and before you know it, you are packing so much in your head that it's not actually helpful. And don't forget that many of these things, and this is why I won't get into too much of it, because many of these things have been taught for free on YouTube for so long that a lot of them don't work anymore. And what I mean by that is, I'll give you a great example. So 3 white candles, or 3 white soldiers, excuse me. 3 white soldiers is it's supposed to be a bullish signal, right? And we'll go ahead and go into the charts. Let's just have some fun with it. We're gonna go ahead and go into some charts, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's see if we can find 3 white soldiers. There we go. Now, what we tend to see is that 3 white soldiers it's supposed to be a bullish signal, right? It's a bullish signal, and usually it's supposed to be one of those signals that continues. It's a continuation, right? Here's another one. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. What this is supposed to imply. So watch this. Put this in the box. What these are supposed to imply. Let me take this out. Wait a minute. We don't want to extend it right. I just want to show you the box. There you go. Pause. So these 3, 1, 2, 3, that is a bullish sign. And what the books actually tell you is that if you get 3 of these, you are supposed to get a continuation just like this. And what you see here is 3 white soldiers. Next candle, look at that. Next candle was nuts. Next candle after that, nuts. Cool down just a little bit and continue. Nuts. Look at that move. This is what's supposed to happen with your 3 white soldiers, right? But because this is one of those indicators that was taught like broadly amongst the free communities, what ends up happening, and I always stress this because I have to remind people that some of this stuff has to be protected. Otherwise, none of it will work. It won't work because too many people are using it, right? And this is one of the things I've struggled with forever, right? When I did my whole STB, I charged people to teach them and yada, yada, yada. One of the reasons, or one of the things I struggled with was charging people, yes, but not because, my shit is tight, right? Y'all seen what I teach and y'all seen how I get down. It wasn't that. It was a simple fact that I struggled still teaching some of the stuff because I'm like, am I still, not expensive enough? Because I don't want a lot of people to have this information that I have because I want it to work. It makes me a lot of money trading these stocks. I don't want too many people to have it. So yeah, I struggle. I'll be honest with y'all. I struggle because there's some stuff I have in my head. There's some stuff that I use to trade that really helps me make a lot of money pretty much on demand. And the one thing I struggle with is, am I teaching this to too many people? I'll be honest with you. That is a transparent moment. I struggle with that, right? And there's still some things that I struggle with teaching, even for people who've paid me a lot of money. I still struggle teaching certain things because it's so sacred. I got some stuff in my head that I can tell you it's so sacred that I struggle teaching it. I'll be honest, because I've seen this happen. So these 3 white soldiers, we've seen this play out. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because look at this: 3 white soldiers, and what happens if you entered these? If you entered these 3 candles because you thought you were going to get this same move, look what happened. Actually, that was your lowest point. So you got in at 41.52. This thing came back down to 41.15. Oh boy. So you got faked out by the 3 white candles or the 3 white soldiers, right? This is what we've seen play out over the last 3 or 4 years, since like trading really took off. I've noticed a lot of these indicators are getting washed out because too many people know about them. They know about it. So once again, I'm still finding out that I need to keep certain things in-house to the private members, to the people, to my sacred group. So this stuff still works. So there's some things that I'm willing to teach here on YouTube that I feel like it'll never get washed out. But there's some things I have to keep to myself because I don't want them to stop working. Here's another, example. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 white soldiers. They're expecting this thing to go up, right? So somebody bought this 4th candle expecting it to do this, right? What did it do? It stopped literally at the 4th candle and pulled back literally almost $30. Now, I don't know if you all know about, futures or not, but yeah, $30 on the futures contract. Whoo, that's $1,500 in the negative per contract. So if you had, let's just say you had a $3,000 account, you bought this thinking those 3 white soldiers were going to take you up. And because these 3 white soldiers have been played out and so many people know about them because all of these YouTubers teach for free and give y'all these indicators. If you see this and you bought this 4th one because some YouTuber told you to, yeah, let's say you had $5,000. So you bought, I don't know, 3 contracts, right? 3 contracts right here. If you rolled it down on this red candle, and that's 1 candle, right? This 4-hour chart. So this 4-hour chart, literally in 4 hours, this thing took you down. Let's say I said you had 3 contracts. That's 4,500. So your your $5,000 account literally took a hit for 4,500. So you're left with $500, all because you used the indicator that you saw on YouTube that was, given away to too many people. And this is what we see. So I'm saying this to be mindful, to let you all to be mindful exactly what it is you're looking or learning in free, I guess you can say, spaces, right? So for me, what does that mean? How do you navigate this? Because, hey, does my stuff not work now? No. Price action, once again, I could teach that stuff because price action, it'll never go anywhere as far as I'm concerned. Price action plays out over and over. Buy low, sell high, right? Sell high, buy low. That's it. Super, super simple. Where does price usually stop? Where the sellers were. Sellers entered here and it failed. So this stuff never will go anywhere. Excuse me. But it's those little knick-knack indicators like this that, lagging indicators or knick-knack indicators like this, these are the ones that go away. These are the ones that go away because that's not necessarily based on price action. This is just based on habit. People see it happen over and over again. So they say the next time it happened, it should do it just like that. That's what gets washed out. So if any indicator you use or you hear a YouTuber use that they say, oh, this is just what happens because we've seen it happen before, Well, the more they talk about it and the more people see it happen, the less it works. The less it works. And as a matter of fact, that's how I trade. Like literally, I fade some of these moves. What that means is when I see it going up, I go short because I know it doesn't work anymore. But I know a lot of buyers in here who are maybe beginner traders. I'll be honest with you. I know the beginner traders are on YouTube, learning some of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I know what y'all are looking for. You think that's a 3 white soldiers that's going to play out. I see those as sellers. I'll knock your head off, take my money, right? That's how I play. And this is what I'm trying to teach you all how to do, right? So that's just my 3 white soldiers explanation. I want to kind of give you that. What we are going to actually get into, though, and what I really want to talk about is essentially what we, went into today as far as the hammer candle and the inverted hammer. So what we're going to try to do is find, let's see. I want a really good one. Let me see if I can. There we go. This is really good. All right. So, as you see here, price, let me kind of blow it up a little bit more. All right. So, as you see here, price open, sellers took it way low. And what I can tell you is somewhere in here, there's some support, which is why buyers stepped in. So, if we look back, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to draw a box and extend it left. We look back somewhere to the left side, there are some buyers, maybe even a bunch of buyers. All right, so let's look back. Okay, there you go. They bought this area up because of this, right? So watch this. Actually, no, it's already right there. So look at that. Boom. You see that wick? Remember I told you these wicks also have buyers and sellers in the wick. So we got above. So this was sellers. And this is something I need everybody to pay attention to. Listen up. This is something that everybody should know who's going to be trading. Support becomes resistance when you get below it. Resistance becomes support when you get above it. Hey, what the heck does that mean? I'm going to take this away. All right. Now, here was sellers. Why? Because if we look left, they've been here, right? As a matter of fact, they're as high as here, as low as somewhere down in here. So I'm going to put a line here as well. Watch this. So as long as you are below these lines, they are sellers. Seller, 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 until you get above them and look, boom, they are now buyers. Came down just to test it. This is your test. This lets you know, is it real? Right? I always say, hey, come back and test this line so I know it's real. Right? And this lets me know it's real. So now what we can do is take these 2 lines and we can go back and watch this. Bingo. Bingo. Hit the line like clockwork. Hit it, made you a nice, beautiful hammer candle, showed you that there were buyers right there. And what happened? There we go. The buyer stepped in huge from 40.73. I mean, really, if you want to, continue to move from 40.73 to 41.89, it's a $100 move. That's $5,000 per contract if you're trading the futures, right? I don't suggest, as a matter of fact, you need to be a super professional before you trade futures. I always tell people, paper trade stocks first, then paper trade options. And then if you can be super successful with those 2, then you're going to paper trade futures before you put any real money in it, right? And that's if you want to come to the futures game. You can make good money trading, shares. That's totally fine. So once again, that gives you an example of buyers stepping in, right? We're going to go over the stock analysis for today, but I just want to show you the examples that we have. Let me see if I can find it wasn't a perfect looking one, but this would be considered your inverted shooting star, right? This will be inverted. And what I would say is pretty much what conversation is happening here. That's what we have to go over. I would say that the sellers are in control right here. So you got here, look at that, sellers right here. This price action came up, hit your sellers. Sellers stepped in, took it down. Very next candle, kind of indecisive, but it did take it as low as 41.21. Excuse me, 41. Yeah, 41.20. So that's a big amount of sellers because I mean you closed this candle right here at 41.47. So that's a $20 move, $20, 20 point move. 20 handles is what we would call them. 20 handles, once again, that's $1,000 per contract. And that's if you're right, if you know what you're doing. Right. So if I knew sellers were stepping in right there, my bias would be to go with the sellers. Right. So yes, this is how it works. And what you got, look, watch this. What you got next was buyer stepped in, gave you a hammer. You had an inverted hammer, boom, took you down, took you low enough to say, no, we don't want to go any lower because hammer stepped in. That hammer steps in and then boom, takes you right back up, even higher, actually. So this is how it works, okay? So that's kind of what I wanted to, just show in real time. But now let's go and see real time. Can we see any real time hammers or inverted hammers being played out? On this time frame, no. Okay, here's a really good one though. Look at this. Look at this. Big fake out. Big fake out right here. Boom. You see that? Hammer candle? Pretty much. Right? You have to be careful with this though. So a lot of times people say, oh, it's a hammer candle, but is it though? Because it's a wick at the top, right? That's trading the line of doji, right? So you gotta be, careful with that. But I'm looking at this because the wick is much longer to the downside or coming up, excuse me. So that tells me that there are buyers right there. So once again, you got to be careful because is it buyers that's going to take us up or is this indecisive? And as you see it played out, that was indecisive, my friend. So being indecisive is something you really have to be careful with, right? Look at that, indecisive, indecisive. So once again, you have to be careful with those and pretty much be able to tell what's going on. So look at this, fall, 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 indecisive, green candle, and it goes up, right? Now, let's play this thing out. Where do I see this thing going? We got to make Friday really great. Honestly, I think Friday is going to give us a nice leak. My price target, honestly, is 4,100, maybe even lower than that. We can go. If Friday gives me the leak that I want it to give me, we can go as low as 40.20. Now I may be wrong. This thing may want to shoot up some more, but I don't know about you. But for my advanced people, this, my friends, is bearish. This is bearish. Fall, and then we're going into a rising wedge. Right? And honestly, yeah. If you do that, rising wedge, that's bearish. So this thing will bounce in here and then boop. So let me show you how that would look. So what it's doing is going boop, 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 boop. It may give you one more. It may. It may. I can see it going as high as 40.78. And then that wick should get me out of there. Test. Remember, I need a test. Let me know it's real. When you break this support line, I need a test so I know it's resistance now. Right? And then we should be headed down. So once again, my price target will be somewhere around this 4,100 area. I could be wrong. It may not get that low. It may, once again, buyers may step in. Now, one way that I personally could not guarantee, one way that I could look at this and say, well, where would it potentially stop? Well, look at this. This is a long-term support level. And well, it was resistance back here, but now it's support. So watch this. I like this. See, I've been doing this too long, so I could just look at price action and tell you what's going on. So I can look at the candles and tell you what a line is going to be. This just comes from practice, boys and girls. Okay, don't go crazy on me. But if we break this rising wedge, right? If we break this to the downside, boom, 41.04, 41.03, something like that. I think this will be a good stopping point because it's been strong since May 10th. Resistance, 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 resistance. Like literally, resistance like crazy. It came down because look, remember, I need you to tell me it's real. Show me it's real. And it never came back down to hold support. So it's resistance, blew through resistance, but it never showed me any support. So this played out and then boom, it showed me some support and it bounced. So once again, that, that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. So if you were in this trade falling, you should have known to get out right here. or you should have known to get in right here. That's how this works. That's how we play this game. That's what I see happening. Honestly, once again, I really can't see. Yeah, I really can't see it going too high. I mean, this right here is. I mean, that's a solid textbook move. Let me see something. You'd like to see moves like here get up to, or like this, get up to about 50% retrace. There's your 50%. I mean, I think it's over. As far as the move up, I think it's over. I think it's gonna give us a move down, and then maybe somewhere down here, maybe we will go ahead and get that move back up, right? Because long term for the next like 6 months, I'm bullish. So my bias is bullish over the next 6 months. However, right now this looks bearish. Okay, so this will be a great area to maybe go long. I don't know. Could it go lower? Yes. You know, it always can go lower. Let's see. I do, let me see here. I do see this little action right here. So I do have to keep that in mind. My neckline is maybe right here, and it looks like we took out the neckline. So this could be another area that, I mean, shit, this could be brutal. This could be brutal. Let's see. 57. Good God. Yeah. So what I can see playing out tomorrow is this move here. Textbook continuation, right? Textbook. So somewhere in that 4,100 range. Now, if we pierce this bad boy, right, it could get ugly, right? Because it's now showing us that we potentially can go 39.50. That can get ugly. Now, the reason why I'm a little, I'm not gonna say worried, I'm not worried, but the reason why I'm looking at this like, yeah, it could be, is because this looks like a wave one. Uh-oh. This looks like a wave one, wave two, wave three, four, five down, right? Once again, we may stop here though. So, uh, honestly, just being fully transparent, this thing definitely has some room to fall. And it looks like we're in a wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. So yeah, I'm gonna be paying close attention to that because yeah, this looked like a one. Excuse me, a yeah, that's exactly what that was. Wow. Okay, so this came down. So one was up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. I know this is advanced. I'm just walking you through it. So when I'm looking at that gave us A. I mean that was B all the way through. B, C. ABC is corrective, which means if we're in a correction, what are we correcting? If this correction is going up, then that means we're correcting a down move. We're correcting a down move, right? And so anytime you are correcting a move, you usually move below this area here. So that correction, the start of that correction, you usually move below that. So I might even target 40.70 or lower, right? So I'm talking, when I say 47 or lower, I'm talking like 40.30. I'm talking 40.30. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm just drawing some stuff showing you how we get it. Let's see. If I were to draw this, right? This is a channel. Look at that. Support, resistance, support. Got below it, resistance, resistance. Got above, support, 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 support. Resistance, 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 resistance. So this is a channel. So what I could be looking for is to get back into this channel, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get back in this channel and we hit support. We find this support again. You're looking at about 40.40, right? 40.40, maybe 40.45, somewhere around there. So this is what I'm, expecting. I know a lot of y'all, some of y'all don't really look at this and then see if I'm going to be right or wrong. But if y'all just go back and check my analysis, a lot of times I'm pretty sharp if I must say so myself, right? I'm pretty sharp with this stuff. So please do the analysis, pay attention to what's going on, and I mean, I promise you, if y'all do this work, you come in and you actually put in the work, it it's very helpful. It's very helpful. Um, I'm teaching you a lot more than what we're supposed to be going through in the beginner course, but it's Friday. We're going into Friday, and I want to leave you, super excited over the weekend, right? Give you some stuff to go over, to be excited about, to study, right? When I go to sleep at night, I mean, charts are on my mind. I mean, seriously, like I live, breathe, and this is what I do. I love this stuff. So once again, this is what I'm seeing. I do think we can get back down here and test this. If we get down here, test it and break it, then I'm expecting to get down to the support here, which, like I said, can take us to like that 40-40 area. So I don't know. We will see. This has been another STB Market Watch. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Actually, I've been talking so much, talking, yelling. I've been teaching not just these classes, but I've been teaching inside of my mentorship, my paid mentorship. I've been teaching one-on-one. My voice has just been, it's had enough. So I'm gonna chill out this weekend, drink me some tea, see if I can, recoup and be ready for Monday. Right. So once again, I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your week. Please, please, please keep studying. I will keep dropping these jewels. Keep in mind, I don't want anything from you. I just want you to show up and study and show me some love. Share my shit. Comment, like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. But overall, share my shit, because somebody else needs to see this. Somebody else wants to see this. Somebody needs what I have to teach, right? And wouldn't you be happy? Wouldn't you be happy if somebody shared this with you? Especially if you were looking for it. So please share it. Share my shit, all right? Because one of the things that makes me show up and want to do this, one, because I'm truly passionate about it and I love to help others. But number two, it's time for people to understand who I am and what I have and how good I am at this stuff, right? So there's a bunch of motivations there. So once again, I appreciate everything. Love y'all. I'll see y'all Monday. I'm out.
Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag. These